Hello YouTube. I'm in the process of building a set of cornhole boards, or whatever you call them. I've got most of the pieces cut so far. I'm trying to make a lightweight version for camping so it won't be so heavy to haul around like so many others you see. So you can see I'm using 1/4-inch plywood in 1x2s for framing, and a 2x4 for the base at the low end. Trying to make it regulation size, though it will not be used for tournaments, obviously. These are the last two pieces on each board that need to be cut to size. This is going to be a reinforcement around the hole, and these will be the high-end legs. They have to be cut to size after the framing is all assembled. And this will be cut, fit in the space, and then the hole will be cut for the bean bags. So that's where I am so far. It's a little more complicated than it should be, but the simple ones are heavy as heck. So that's what I'm doing right now. We'll see how it looks when I'm finished. The framework. Long side rails and 6 cross pieces at the base and all the way to the top. This area will have the hole and a plywood reinforcement cut to fit. These ribs here in the middle I don't believe are necessary, but I'm putting them in because of something I'm doing specifically that you may want to do yourself should you try to do this. This right now is cut to 3 1/4 inches, and once the plywood is on top it'll be 3 1/2. And I know regulation size is 3 inches high. This side, regulation size, is 12 inches high with the fold-out legs. I'm going to make it 12 1/2. So it'll have the regulation slope, but who cares? It's not going to be used for tournament. The only reason I'm doing that is the way I'm going to nest the two boards together when it's being carried from place to place. And so I made this piece a little higher so each end would be protected. You'll see when I get there. This is the completed framework minus the legs and minus the top. The center line is from 4 different pieces. This is 3/4 inch plywood for reinforcement for the hole. The center line is not necessary in my opinion, but once you see what I'm doing with it, you may decide to use it yourself. The, what do we call them, decks? Boards? Anyway, I've never actually played the game. I'm building this to take on camping trips with my wife. But you can see with the, reinforcement of plywood, this is 1 inch thick. This 2x4 that was trimmed to make it 3 1/2 inches high instead of 3 is attached to the end of the frame so it can actually be attached. Brad's coming this way would be too short, so I attached it this way and then attached. Everything's glued, everything's shot with brads. These are 8 inches apart. 8 inches apart. 8 inches apart, 8 inches apart. That was a mistake. We should make them 7 inches apart if you want to do what I'm going to do with them. Because the legs are a snug fit. And one of them had to be beveled on the end. One had to be beveled on the end to make it fit. That's on the other plank, whatever the heck you guys call these things. I made the low end 3.5 inches and the high end 12.5 inches. So it should retain the proper angle. So anyway, this again will not be used for tournament play, just for camping. And once I get it all figured out how to nest them together and transport them, I'll paint them and finish them and show you what all of this is for. Hello again, YouTube. This is one of those situations where you think you have something figured out, and after you build it, you realize there's a better way, and unfortunately it becomes an issue of something that should have been done earlier in the process. Anyway, it's been a couple of weeks since I built this, and I've used it camping and at a family gathering. It is obviously now painted, just basic white house paint that I already had. I've got carry handle, this nylon webbing screwed on. Tried something else, but it kept breaking. And the boards are nested together with just Velcro, stapled to one piece, stapled to the other piece, and all that does is keep them from separating one from the other. But to unnest these, you just pull the Velcro, and I roll it around to keep it from snapping back over. Then I just pull on one. Easier said than done with one hand. There. And it starts to separate. I should do this with a tripod. There. Now, they're nested together with 1/4 inch lag screws. I drilled through the base, the bottom end, with a drill bit the size of the pilot diameter of the lag screw, straight from one to the other. So it went in from one board to the other. Then I screwed in the lag screw from the inside, cut the excess threads and the heads off. So you end up with just a steel shaft. But since it didn't go in straight, that's where the pre-planning would have come in. I had to open this hole up really wide on a couple of them that didn't go in very straight. But it still works. If I had to do it over again, I would drill this with a drill press or a drill guide of some kind. And luckily my neighbor has to come out with a string trimmer right now. Anyway, that's how they nest together. It's pretty simple, straightforward. But now I'll show you why I had the center line ribs in the basic construction. I got part of an old blue bed sheet, trimmed off the edge, stapled it inside here, folded it under on this edge and stapled it to the cross ribs and wrapped it around, folded it under, stapled it there. And there's a place to store the bean bags. Got one on each board. When you carry it by the handle, they stay in the pockets. And everything's together. You don't have to carry it in bags or anything. When you're ready to set up and play, pull out the bean bags, fold up the legs, set up the boards, and start playing. And when you're done, flip them over on their backs, fold down the legs, store the bean bags, and then put the boards together, and then put the boards together and push them together. Here, I'll show you. Just lay one on top of the other, get them close on the ends so that the pins and the holes are about to line up, and then just push. With any luck, it'll do it on the first try. bit of shaking. It's lined up on this end too. Just pull the Velcro back around. Try and keep the weeds from getting under it. Then you've got a carryable set of cornhole boards with 8 bags inside. The whole thing weighs 39 pounds with the bean bags. So that's the result of my little project. Hope you liked it.